Buju, Makwanada, Tashinkwa, Dishnikaz, Bakajna, Dunjba, Makwa Dodem, Ogemakwa, Chief Leela Thomas. I come before you on behalf of Bakajna unceded territory, also known as Walpole Island First Nation. I say miigwech for the opportunity to speak today for the 7 minutes I'm given. I come here grounded in the belief that treaties are solemn nation-to-nation agreements, not land surrenders, but commitments to share land and protect rights. These agreements carry mutual obligations for both the British Crown and our nations, including stewardship of the land. Canada's treaty relationship has international weight. In the early 1980s, First Nations challenged Canada's constitutional repatriation in the UK. The English Court of Appeal, led by Lord Denning, affirmed that the Crown's treaty obligations could not be erased, stating they should be honoured by the Crown in respect of Canada, and no Parliament should do anything to lessen the worth of these guarantees. The Royal Proclamation of 1763 and the Treaty of Niagara of 1764 affirmed our sovereignty and our role as partners, not subjects. Yet today we continue to see provincial governments act as though these legal obligations do not apply to them. Under Haida Nation versus British Columbia 2004, the Supreme Court ruled that the Crown, both federal and provincial, has a legal duty to consult Indigenous peoples when there is a real or constructive knowledge of potential impacts to Aboriginal or treaty rights. Even without formally proven title, consultation must be meaningful, timely, and reflect the honor of the Crown. Today, however, this relationship is being undermined, and our ancestors disrespected, and our future generations put in danger, particularly in the case of the proposed Dresden landfill and the Omnibus Bill 5, Protecting Canada by Unleashing the Economy Act. Over a year ago, York One Environmental Waste Solutions submitted a proposal to resume and expand landfill operations at the former Dresden tile yard. Our nation never received any notice, no outreach, no consultation. We sent letters of opposition and tried calling, and we never heard anything back. On April 17, 2025, we received a letter from the Ministry of Environment proposing to remove environmental assessment requirements for York One's landfill expansion. We were given 2 weeks to comment online. On May 5th, we finally met virtually with ministry representatives, and what we learned was disturbing. That the York One had supposedly sold the land, and so we didn't really know who the applicants are. They didn't know who's going to operate it, what the activities are actually going to be, and what potential contaminants could be from this landfill site. They admitted the site was contaminated by previous operators, and not much was done by them to stop it, and no EA was ever done at this site. They said technically they do not have to consult with us, nor does York One. Let's be clear, the site was never officially a landfill. Claims that it's simply dormant for 40 years or it's expanding is misleading. The land was never officially designated as such, confirmed by the municipality of Chatham-Kent. York One refuses to meet or speak with us, and yet the government deems them a trusted proponent. How can you build trust when you can't even meet with us to discuss our concerns, and so that when we can learn all what the project entails and how it's going to impact our communities? The process by which Bill 5 and the proposed Dresden landfill, how it was proposed, is not constitution. A 1-hour online meeting and a website comment box and the 7 minutes here does not reflect the honor of the Crown, nor does it show that you're acting in good faith. I commented on the ERO site, and yesterday I said I got an email saying that they will not accept my comment because it went off topic. But the stuff I put in there is exactly what I'm sharing with you guys. So again, our voices are being silenced when we're told to comment on the ERO site. Since there's no application yet for this landfill, the ministry, how can the ministry claim the waste will not be non-hazardous? If you look up demolition waste, it often includes toxins, lead, arsenic, mercury, asbestos, all of which threaten drinking water, the health of people and wildlife. Yet these critical concerns are being sidelined. With Bill 5, this government is proposing to give certain projects and trusted proponents sweeping exemptions, bypassing legislation's regulation and municipal bylaws within these new special economic zones. What laws exactly are you so freely willing to ignore? In the case of the proposed Dresden landfill, we're looking at the Federal Endangered Species Act, the Ontario Endangered Species Act. We have 88 endangered species in the Sydenham River. The Ontario Landfill Act, where it says you can't put a landfill in wetlands and floodplains. The Environmental Protection Act, when you are limiting the environmental assessments. The Ontario Heritage Act, when it comes to reparation of our ancestors and burial sites and artifacts. Municipal zoning laws and regulations, and Section 35 of the Constitution Act, which guarantees our rights. The government has failed in its duty to consult First Nations with this bill and the landfill project. It also has betrayed the people of Dresden and Chatham-Kent by quietly abandoning the promise of an environmental assessment.
1 minute.
If this government truly believes this landfill is safe, and you're so confident York's One and its subsidiaries' operations and the ministry's oversight, then I ask, why not put it in your own backyards and leave Dresden out of it? It's like the mayor of Chatham-Kent said, it's all about location, and we have numerous and fearful concerns for our lives. Treaties are not relics of the past. They're solemn living commitments to share the land, to respect, and to protect resources. I urge this assembly to honor your legal obligations, respect our treaty partners, protect the land, the water, and the well-being of the people, both First Nation and non-First Nation, protect our children and future generations, and revoke Bill 5 and stop the Dresden landfill. Miigwech.